Hello, good morning. Welcome to Start Now with Linda show, and I am your host, Linda Adamowski. Thank you so much for being here. Today I have a super hot topic to talk about. Money. Money, 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 money. I'm a terrible singer, so I apologize for that, putting you through that. We have so many perceptions, misconceptions, and insanity with money. And it's interesting because money has not always been the currency for trade. It's been labor, chickens, grain, and there didn't seem to be as much lack and points of view around money way back then. Now, I wasn't around way back then, but people just did what they had to do around money. And so recently, say, I don't know, last couple hundred years, we've developed this lack mentality around money. Now, not the whole population, but many of us, and we use statements like, money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. There's never enough money. And what if that was just a lie that we bought into? Hey, Janice, thanks for tuning in. What if that was just a lie we bought into, that there's never enough money? I actually read somewhere once that if we took all the money and put it in a big pile in the middle and gave an equal portion to everyone on the planet, we'd all be millionaires. So there is plenty of money, and we live in North America, one of the where abundance flows. If you go into nature, there isn't a lack mentality that there's never enough. The trees don't say to the other, we don't have enough trees, we don't have enough leaves. There's always enough. Yet we as people, we have this concept that possibly is a lie that we've created that isn't true around money. So I've been a certified financial planner for 13 years. I've also studied coaching and healing modalities and learned how to change your perception and misconception around things like money, relationships, sex, even moving forward in your career or your life. And how do you do that? How do you get there? Starting a business. And so it's been interesting with being a certified financial planner. I got to see where people function around money and what they believe. Hey, Megan. Hey, Chelsea. Thanks for being on. So I remember having a client, a single mom, who had never put money away before. And I encouraged her, the first thing we did is set up a plan that automatically $50 went into a savings plan. And I remember the day she called me when she got a statement at the end of the year and she had $1,000. And she phoned me in tears. It's a moment I'll never forget. And she said, I've never had $1,000 before. And that simple thing changed her total reality around money, and she kept going and kept saving it. Other people, as soon as they got 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, it was like, woohoo, shopping time. Let's pull it out and spend it on something. In Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas is the founder of Access. He, and I've studied Access Consciousness, I've studied with Martha Beck Coaching, Byron Katie, I've read Law of Attraction books, I've read Esther and Jerry Hayes, and all are kind of saying exactly the same thing. It's our perception of money that creates the lack of it. It's not the actual money. So Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, I'm in a group once a week we meet, and it's called the Advanced Money Workbook. And in it, he talks about if you had $100 million and it renewed on January 1st of every year, what could you create with it? Not what can you spend with it, what can you create with it? And so it kind of sent my brain into a tailspin, because it was, okay, so I go on some fancy first class vacations, I buy a fancy lakefront home, I set up my family and friends, and then it's 6 months later and I'm like, okay, now what? Now what? Because if you don't start creating with it, you're going to be terribly bored, and your waistline is not going to be where you'd like it to be, unless of course you hire an amazing trainer. So that concept got us thinking about, well, what could we create if we had that amount of money? And so we started thinking about, well, we could start literacy programs, whatever your passion is. We could start, here in the Okanagan, there are a lot of homeless people. We could, and housing is a bit of a crunch. We could start something with that. I know in Calgary, where it's super cold, and there are a lot of homeless people, you could have programs for that. You could buy out Monsanto and stop that kind of a movement. You could help build schools in Africa. There are so many things that you could do. You could, with literacy programs, you could create different ways of learning that is specific for the way individuals learn, rather than having one box fit all. So you start looking at $100 million is, wow, that I need that to renew every year because I got plans. I also sat in another group this last week, and we talked about prosperity. And there were about 20 people in the room, maybe a little bit more. And the facilitator came to me and he asked me on my take on prosperity. And so I shared with him about the $100 million and what you could do with it, and our concepts around money. And is it that money doesn't come to us, or we don't make enough, or is it we have a receiving problem? So receiving, I mean, I remember a time when I couldn't even receive a compliment from someone. Someone would say, oh, you look really nice in that red dress, and I'd, brush it off, oh, that old thing. And finally someone actually took my hand and said, stop, say thank you. So be grateful for the compliment. So how many ways are you refusing money because you're not grateful for it? So in this group, I shared my thoughts on receiving and how we block money from coming to us because we aren't grateful for it. Also the verbiage we have running in our head around money. Money, there's never enough. Rich people are greedy. Money is the root of all evil. And so those tunes that you play in your head are what money is hearing, and whether money comes to you or not. So I shared that in the group, and he said, okay, cool, let's go around the room and have everyone tell us what they think is too much money. So of course my answer was, well, money is infinite. So the things that we can change and create with money are what's important. The girl next to me, who is actually an accountant, so she actually works with money. Numbers of money, it's not real, that she's not actually touching it, but she works with numbers, income and expenses, every single day, all day long. The first words out of her mouth was, I hate money. Money is greed. Well, is money greed, or are people greed and people's concepts greed? The way people think greed. It's not actually money. Because I have some right here, pulled it out of my wallet. Money's kind of pretty here in Canada. I've been to Australia, it's really pretty there too. But yeah, how can we'll come back to that. So the first words out of her mouth was, I hate money. And about a third of the people in the room said, and the number that they gave told me that they didn't actually hear what the facilitator had said. And I know this from going to all the different classes and teachings that I've been to, is when you don't hear something the facilitator is saying, that's your thing. You actually need to do some work on that to let go of that point of view, because that's your thing. If you don't hear it, there's something that you're blocking, that you're not allowing yourself to hear it and receive it. So the girl next to me who hated money, she didn't actually hear how much is too much money. She heard, what is enough money? And how do I know this? By her answer, because her answer was $100,000. Well, she probably makes $100,000 a year. So that was her threshold with money, her limit with money. That was enough for her. We went around the room and there was probably 5 or 6 people who did not hear the question and used $100,000 as their too much money. Several people said $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, and then there were a handful, like myself, about 4 or 5 people who said, yeah, money is infinite. I would like to create change on the planet for the better of the planet and for, to expand all of us and create more with it, and not from a place of greed, but a place of empowerment and a place of enjoying the planet and a place of having beautiful nature, and from that point of view, having 100 million, an infinite amount to renew. So that really got the gears going for me on money. I remember going to see a comedian a couple of months ago. His name is Wes Barker. If you ever get a chance to see him, he's amazing. He's an illusionist, he's a magician, and he's a comedian. And he lives in Vancouver, and he was hired to go to a private party in a mansion he called it a castle. He said kind of like Hearst Castle, but not the Hearst Castle, that much wealth, in California. And the people that he entertained had a totally different concept of money. Their concept was not, there's never enough. They actually don't sit around and talk about money and bills and, oh, I wish I would win the lottery. They create every day with money, with wealth, with prosperity. And so the first 10 minutes of his spiel was about him flying to California, and it was hilarious. They thought it was the funniest thing ever because it's not something that they could relate to. So standing in line to get the luggage ticket to put on your luggage, standing in line a second time to give your luggage to the attendant, standing in line a third time to go through security, then standing in line again to go through customs, or the other way around. So it was and they're like, really? You don't just walk up to the plane and go? So it's a concept that it's like, where does your brain, what are the lies you've bought about money, and what are your belief systems about money, and how can we change it? So when you say there's never enough money, how does that feel in your body? Like, I want each of you right now to say, I don't have enough money. And how does that feel? Like, I want you to post it, please. Where do you feel it? To me, it's like a punch in the gut. And if it feels icky, there's a lie there somewhere. Your life should be about being light and joyful and happy. And so when you say, I never have enough money, does it feel like you just got chained up? You got shackles on? There's something there that's not real, and you're probably picking it up from someone else or this reality. It's not real, it's not yours, it's a lie. And yet we buy it as real and true, and we function, some people, our whole lives from there's never enough. Canada is a pretty prosperous place, and even the homeless people still have the clothes on their back. They panhandle, and many of them make a fair amount of money to keep them in food and whatever they require. It's us that has the judgment that there's something wrong with that. What if they're the smart ones? They don't pay a mortgage and all of that kind of stuff. So back to, how does it feel in your body when you say there's never enough? Do you have that clench in your gut? Please post for me how it feels for you. So how do you treat yourself when you say there's never enough? Do you judge yourself? Do you feel bad? Do you feel like a victim? Do you just not create a great day. It's like stubbing your toe. So what if one morning you woke up and you could eliminate that thought from your vocabulary, from the music running in your head? What if that was gone forever? What could you create in your life? So you could no longer believe something got switched in your brain that there's never enough money. What would change in your life? And just money is an energy and it needs to flow. If it's stuck and locked in place, we can't actually create more of it. It's like breathing. Do you deserve to breathe, or do you just breathe? So we can't look at money as a I deserve it or don't deserve it. It's there. It's flowing. Do you want to be part of the party with money? And if you were having a party and you were saying things like, there's never enough money, I hate money, money is greed, money is the root of all evil, money doesn't grow on trees, and you invited money to the party and you say, oh yeah, I want money, I want lots of money, I want to win $1 million lottery, do you think money would actually accept your invitation? Seriously, let's consider you are a person who wants to date money, and that's the energy that you are putting out. Money isn't, there's never enough money. I hate money. Money is the root of all evil. Do you think money would want to date you and call you up on a regular basis? Or would it say, no, there's happy people over here? You see, energy and money doesn't have a point of view of right, or doesn't look at things as right, your thoughts as right or wrong or good or bad. They're your thoughts, so they're your thoughts. Cool. No good or bad, no right or wrong. So if you're putting off that energy about money, money's never going to come to your party. Never. So what can we do to change your energy and your point of view around money? Well, the first thing is, I would say, be grateful for it. Be absolutely grateful for it. Go to the money. If you have money in your wallet, go to your debit card, take it out and say, thank you, thank you, thankful. Thank you. I am so grateful for all the money that I have in my bank, even if it's only 10 cents. I am so grateful that I have all of this money. I am so grateful for the $200 that I pulled out of my wallet. And I mean, seriously, it's so pretty. How could we judge this as evil or not enough? What if you went to it with the energy of, wow, money's so pretty. I love money. I have lots of money. I am abundant. And I can receive money. And you, as being you in everything you do, being all of you, being happy with you, not judging you, is going to be the energy that money would like to date. Money would like to take out a date, and money would like to lavish you. And what if that's what we each had to do to change our concept around money and not be so judgmental and negative towards money? So go to your loans energetically or online and find them, find your loan, and thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be in this beautiful house. Even credit cards. If you are in a place where you've had to live on credit cards to survive, go to your credit cards and thank them. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If it weren't for you, I would not be able to have a place to live or food on my table or whatever your situation is, instead of looking at it as a problem. Because we do that. We look at our debt as a problem. We look at, our finances, lack of it, as a problem. Well, money isn't a problem and money isn't a solution. It's the way you function with it that is creating what is going on in your world. So I've gone on and on and on here about money. Please go to your money and be grateful with it. play some different tunes in your head. I love money. Money is everywhere. Money is beautiful. Money is pretty. I love dating money. Money is in my world. And another thing that I've actually started doing is acknowledging the places where you receive something that is monetary, but it's not actually like a $50 bill. So let's say you were invited out for dinner and someone fed you. That has a value, because if you stayed home, you would have to buy and prepare that or go out and pay for that. So that actually has a monetary value. So be grateful for it. Acknowledge it. Wow, look at that. I just got a $40 meal. How cool is that? I went and renewed my car insurance, and because I've been here a little, anyways, my discount went up. I'm going to save almost $500 a year on my car insurance, and that is monetary. So I'm like, how does it get even better than that? I just made $500. Thank you, money. Do you see how when you start changing the way you relate to money, the way money relates to you will change? So I hope there's something in this that you enjoyed. Please like and share. And I'd like to know what your story is with money. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you want more, need more, have more? It's a burden. Just what is your story with money, and what would you like to change your story to money, with money, to be? And I think it's a topic we're going to talk a lot more about, because I have a lot more to say about money. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much.